Continue.
So there's the idea of people always want to go back to nature and natural stuff, right? And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
I'm all for it, but sometimes there's this idea of going back to how it used to be, how we were made to be. But then you're looking at it like now. I'm throwing out biblical stuff because we don't know if it's factual per se, because they used to say that some people lived over 100 plus years. But from what I understand from people within the 1800s and whatnot, like they living past 60 was ridiculous, right? But there's a lot of people like, we got to get back to natural stuff, touch the earth, do this. And then there's a part where it's like, well, if that's the case, then why are we using toothpaste? Why are we using doing anything? Because like, people's teeth naturally rotted over time. They use wood, and it's like sometimes we've moved along because we accepted the new science or the new technology of whatever is going on now.
Mm.
Like like I can joke around and say, people who are so natural into what it used to be, then stop using toilet paper, right?
Mm.
We didn't wipe our asses with toilet paper before.
It's currency now.
You know what I'm saying?
Certain
Yeah,
times of the year, it's currency.
it is currency. But do you get what I'm saying on that?
I do. I do get
It's
what you're
like there's
saying.
this idea of going back to Africa. Sorry, I just thought of belly.
That's hella funny.
Yeah, and I was just like, no, some things are better now because we've improved on it and it wasn't what it used to be?
Mm.
So, man, I forgot exactly where I was going with all that, but it was just about being more natural and stuff. And sometimes it's not. It's okay that you're not.
Not as cracked up as it is to be.
It just I'm a mixture of both. I'm always a mixture of like you need to incorporate what's new and what's old. You know.
It's the dynamic, man. The more I think about it, I think it is truly like, we always come to these conclusions like after the conversation. I think
Mhm.
addressing it before, at least in this manner, is like we know that there's always going to be this fuckery where it's something like that, right? But then I choose this life with this stuff. But I do this even though it contradicts this. Like walking
Mhm.
contradictions. And like the whole theory of like dynamics instead of equality, instead of straight line, it's more of a like a seesaw action, like a positive, negative, because that is truly more of the natural experience, some would say. But I think the way that we're interpreting it, and this is my theory of the whole WWE stuff, is oh, we like it like this.
Mhm.
We want to feel like the world's about to end every year, not just every 4 years. We like it every year. Give us your wildest shit. And I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
our that's our programming.
Obviously some of it comes from the recent election, and in one group chat there's people I know that were saying, hearsay on Twitter, someone posts about like their business isn't giving out bonuses because they have to prepare for next year and this tariff. I don't know what the percentage was. It was like 25%.
Mm.
So there's these businesses that are saying, we can't give you Christmas bonus because we have to prepare for getting supplies because the tariff is gonna do stuff, right? And I'm just like, my cynical ass is this. No, that just sounds like a business that doesn't want to give out you money right now because they don't really know what's going to happen yet. Even though things are said, when you really like, there's not any hate on any, there's not hate on Donald Trump or anything like this. I'm gonna say this: most of the time, presidents or people who go in say they're gonna do stuff and they never really follow through with it, right? Would you agree? So
Every single one.
sometimes things are said, and I'm not saying this is not against him. I'm just saying in general, right? Sometimes things are said and it doesn't execute because other people are like, no, do you understand? And the numbers don't add up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what that means that like everything we have currently would go up maybe
Mm-hmm.
25% more.
Yeah.
So in theory, because what happens is even though they attack someone else, we as the people are gonna pay for it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So um we don't know that. So I'm not so one of the things is like, well, it's happening and blah blah in the chat, and I was like, well, okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't stock up a little bit, but if you're always moving in fear, then you're letting everything dictate you. You don't know what's gonna happen yet. You don't really know yet.
Mhm.
And that was my main point. It was just
Mhm.
like it's right now it doesn't exist. You know,
Very
it,
true.
it it doesn't exist. This is just statements.
Mhm.
I'm not saying you shouldn't stock up. All I'm saying is we don't know if it's going to be as good or as bad as what some people may say it's going to be.
Mhm.
You know, we don't know the people who are pro. We don't know how good it's going to go. You know, the people
Mhm.
that say it's going to be bad, we don't know how bad it's going to go.
Mhm.
We really don't know. We have to go through it. You know, there's a lot of people who are in playing devil's advocate. There's a lot of people that were happy for Biden. You know,
Mhm.
like there was things that happened with Trump. Then COVID hit, and then and even Donald Trump sent out stimulus packages. Right? There's like two other stimulus packages that happened after Biden, which we were locked down for almost 3 years, like three, four, almost. I mean, maybe two, but it still felt like not until 2023 we were finally opening back up to where people are like, "Hey, let me holler at you, girl." You know what I'm saying? Like
Shit.
fully, right? Would you say that?
I would agree. That was the
Like
true reset.
2021 was when we were coming out of it. 2022 people were loosening up. 2023 is when people were like, "All right, fuck it. This is what we're
Yeah.
at." You know?
Yeah.
And '04 is somewhat normal, but still not, if that makes sense.
I mean, normal is a very
Yeah,
interesting word
well,
today.
well, yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is like obviously
I know
nothing
what
goes
you're
back to
saying.
where it used to be.
Getting back to like 100% type of thing.
But nothing ever gets back to what it used to be. Like 9/11 hits, we're not back
Yeah.
to going on
Yeah. We're
airplanes
never
without
gonna go
taking off
back
our
to
fucking
whatever that is.
shoes. You know
Closest
what I'm saying?
something resembling before the time of, for sure.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everything happens and it changes and you move and
Mm.
it's a new norm or new
Yeah.
and change.
Yeah.
So it seems to a new normal and not as crazy, but it's still crazy. But anyway, you know, people wanted Biden and inflation went up. Um, living conditions went up, prices went up, things like that. Obviously, that's a part of inflation. So it didn't work out what some people thought it would be. So we don't really know what's gonna happen. We just hope that these things. Well, hold on. I hope that these things work out for the better, right? But we don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and try to. I don't want to always be afraid of what happens because we don't know what's gonna happen yet. So,
Agreed. I feel your same sentiment. I agree and share your same sentiment. To add, I think that it's already been in change. Like we mentioned, like the last 4 years have been awkward already.
mhm,
And, some people have gotten out. Some people haven't. Some people are still in, some people are fully out. People got off at different times.
mhm,
So I think whatever this, election cycle did is just kind of really hit a reset on the reset to say,
mhm.
like, okay, turn off the system in 2020 or 19, whenever it started, 20. And then, all right, 2024. All right. Hey, folks, we're back. I hope everybody's fine. Don't really want to go into details. Here's what's going on. It feels like we were already in the process of change, whatever's going on the last 4 years. Going forward, I think there's just going to be a lot of things like coming fast at us, being like okayed and being kind of, at least on that side of things, through the governing side. I don't know if people are
Mhm.
going to pay attention, because I don't know how the media is going to cover it this time around because they're not really as prominent as they were before. So,
No, yeah, and it's weird because I feel conflicted on that, right?
mm,
Like um there should be sources within media that gives us more information, right? That I'm hoping because they have the money in the bagging. And then, more people are going towards podcasts. And then I also think that even though we're doing a podcast right now, some of the good and bad things, we're just talking and we're saying stuff. We don't have always actual facts and stuff like that. So with that being said, people are going to podcasts for information. And it's like, well, some of these people are talking aren't in it and aren't like factual either. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And then it's like At what point do you know, because one group may not have the whole story, that the other group is doing something, podcasters are doing something similar, and at what point are we going to get better at actually giving credited information, or at least enough to be like, hey, these are the things I looked at, these are the things that we credit, these are the things we sourced. As of right now, this is to be true. With I get we're always biased, but with this like unbiased, just throwing it out there, you know?
Mm,
Because right now, like I don't like I could say that both sides are trash. You know,
mm,
when to me, when I hear people say, don't trust the media, don't trust the media, and then you obviously talk about like the CNN, you know, depending on who you're talking to, there's a group that says don't trust the media, and then you have people referring to CNN. It's like, but I'm supposed to trust Fox,
mm,
right? Or I'm supposed to trust, and I'm calling this guy out, Joe Rogan. Do you realize that's media? It's entertainment, it's information, right?
mm.
Social media is media too. YouTube is considered social media.
Entertainment,
Entertainment is media, right?
politics,
What
entertainment.
what they say? A media player? What they used to have on
True.
Windows? A media player
Media
would play
player, yeah.
videos, right?
Media, yeah.
Media player, right?
Media player, yes, this is
It's
true.
actually funny because the other day I was looking up what liberal meant,
Mm,
right?
mm.
I don't have the full on definition. I have to look it up
It's all
again.
good. Wing it.
Like it it was more like movement of liberating people and moving people ahead, like you know, giving more rights to people or whatnot.
Mm,
At least that's what it seemed like. It in its definition, it didn't seem as bad as it's being used now. You know, it like here I'll look it up just because I want to be. What does liberal mean? Well, there's one is willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own to new ideas. That's one term of liberal, relating or denoting political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights, civil liberties, and democracy and free enterprise. Free enterprise sounds kind of good for business, right?
I think so.
It's like because what does people use to talk about a free market?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say a free enterprise would sound kind of similar with that, but I'll look further. Um, Let me see more definition relating to Liberal Party in the UK or Democrat, given use or occurring in generous amounts, like give this
You have to be
liberally,
liberal.
like a
Yeah.
lot, right? Which
Yeah.
some people can use
Generous.
too, right? To like giving
It's
out
all
too
in
much,
relative. Yes, it's all
too much
relative.
money, right? The support of policies that socially progressive and promotes social welfare. A support of policy, political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights. So, okay, yeah. So, like in theory, it doesn't sound too bad,
No.
right? But in execution, it at least right now it sounds bad, you know. Just like
I mean, the
conserv,
words are just interesting.
just
They
like
kind of,
conservative that
yeah.
should like conservative doesn't shouldn't sound too bad, right?
No,
Like
they
if
take
you
on
were
different
conserving your
meanings.
money, that means that you're holding on to your money, you're
Yeah.
using it smartly, right?
Yeah. Conserving, saving more, spending less. That's conserving your money.
Yes.
But you're conservative. You MAGA.
Yeah.
You, you're the
Well, I
racist.
mean, how you say it too could be like if you're liberal and say, hey, I hope everybody's thinking free. Oh, you woke. Oh, you want kids to get their
You
dicks cut off.
won't.
That's
You
not what I
want
said
no
at all.
borders.
That's not. Yeah, you want everybody or you want their kids to get their dicks up. That's not what I said at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, to me, that's where, like to your point earlier about, media and news, right, or information. That's where, like, legacy, what they call those, media companies, like legacy media. That's where they fucked up because they kept on doing that shit, where they kept on just talking about those notes, like really doing that fear mongering shit, like
I feel like
hell
that
it had,
I feel
because
like.
a lot
Go
of
ahead,
it
sorry.
ended up becoming, like false, or they were just saying shit like, yo, like, like stop doing that. Like we just want to hear a unbiased report. Like we
Yes,
don't need to see it from your perspective because then it became little bit of fear. I'm like on both sides too.
yeah,
And it's
but
like, what the fuck? And then that's why the internet, because they weren't backed by big, big money, it gave an avenue for people that, did some form of journalism where, I'm doing the research, I'm trying to keep up and I'm just reporting it from my basement. I don't have a lot of followers, but and they just kept persistent with it and then it kept building.
but
At
then they
least
did.
those
But
guys.
I feel like some of those people developed a bias.
I mean, for sure, but that's what the thing you can't help do it. But then who's to say, like, with the people that are reporting it, because that's what end up becoming the problem. Like, when it gets trickled down to each news station, then you become in fear. You know, those jokes they put on Kimmel and Fallon, where it's like all the news reporters around the world or around the country are on the same script. And it's like, oh, this is hilarious that they're on the same script. But in your mind, you're
Well,
like,
well,
well, they are on the same script. So we are getting our
and
info from some,
and I would
you
play
know,
devil's advocate on this, right?
mm,
Like it might be conflicting certain information, but like a certain group of people wanted to say, right, information is false news, right? There's a group of people saying false news, and then you're trying to deny information. You're trying to deny certain statements. I'm not saying it was real or not. They're denying it, and you're putting it out there as false, right? In many ways, by saying it's false, you are filtering it out and trying to restrict
other
words, right?
people's
Like, oh,
words.
this shouldn't be said. That shouldn't be said. You're
Yeah,
having some people saying they're saying the wrong things. Don't listen to them because they're saying the wrong things. In many cases, you can say that's censoring, right? Not in the
true.
exact way that how I would say Kamala Harris had stated, but in many cases, people consider that you can consider that censoring, right? Because you're saying,
Mm,
"Oh, this is not real. This is not fact. This is not blah blah blah." And whether it does good or bad or indifferent, you should always research it. It creates distrust, even if some people can say certain things with certain facts that are given at the time. Okay.
hmm.
Now, I would say some of that same group is now trying to say, "Well, who are you to say what's right or wrong? Who are you to say that this is the right or wrong information?" Well, you guys were telling other people that was wrong information too.
True.
And that's
But
all I'm
this
saying. That's all I'm
but
saying.
the
Do,
good thing
do, do you
about
get what I'm where I'm
I
what
I
I'm
do
like?
I do I
Like it
do
sounds crazy,
I get what you're
and
saying
maybe I'm not
because
saying it
the
clearly.
people that are accusing the people become the people who they were accusing people of.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's the
it's like
Joker
those
thing.
are the
It's
first
the
people that get killed. Like when there's a takeover, the people that help get taken over, those are the first people killed because the person that's taking over knows these are the motherfuckers not to trust. Kill them. So I get what you're saying. I think the fault first off is the fact that people got baited into being onto one side. I think there's a point when you choose sides. I think for something like this, the bait was truly if you picked one side emotionally, because I think that's the whole game. But besides that, though, I think that with the whole um, fuck, what was I saying? God damn it!
sorry if I fucked you up on
No,
that.
no, no, it's all good. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No,
I'll find
I
it. I'll
think
find
I
it. It'll
think I
come back.
think I think no. Well, I think in a holistic way we should not choose sides, right? But the reality we're going to choose sides. We're just this is who we are. We're people. I think
No,
it's
I mean I
innate.
think that's what they tell
Innate.
it. That's what they show us. But like I always say, if we're going off of the numbers, it's still not a lot of people that vote, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Did
just
you
not a
vote?
large
Or
turnout.
sorry,
No,
I should
fuck
no no
no.
no no no.
I
I
did
shouldn't
not
have
vote.
asked that. I shouldn't have asked that. My bad. I shouldn't
That's
have asked
fine.
that.
But I mean,
That's private
that's
to you.
that's like saying, did you take your fucking vaccine? It thought people thought it was common. Now people are coming back to their senses. So I agree with you. Okay, we were talking
Okay,
about
so
the
let
news
me let
thing.
me let me throw out my thing. I'll say I didn't vote either.
Okay,
But
perfect. See, so we're in the same boat.
I'm not happy with the outcome. But I didn't vote. You know what I'm saying? And people who say you can't have a feeling about things is like I think you can have a feeling about anything, but there's certain things that you're like I don't necessarily completely. I have a hard time voting because I have not backed anybody that I fully believe in. Like, there's like, it's hard for me to fully believe in anybody unless they're being honest about everything. And most of them aren't. Like, even when I'm reading these fucking laws, you're like, okay, let's clean up these streets. By saying yes, you do this. By saying no, you do this. And then it's like by saying yes, underline it's like the commercials about like, Viagra H gets your dick hard, but could have constant diarrhea. It's like all of a sudden you say
Yeah.
yes to some shit that you're like, what the fuck did we say
It's
yes
a
to?
lot of fuckery. Like
You
it
know?
truly puts you in a predicament, and then they make it socially awkward. And then at times like this is when it ramps up, it breaks apart families, it gets people in weird situations. So that's what for me. I'm just looking at. I'm really trying to look at it like, all right, what the fuck is actually happening? And like your talking points are, I agree with. I definitely see where you're coming from. but I think it also opens the door. Like for instance, it's the conservative side versus the liberal side, right? Now the conservative side now has a media presence. I think that was
Hmm.
the argument before where the liberal side had more of the celebrity status and there was more of the Hollywood backed, big money. They know how to market themselves. I think with the social media situation and, Trump's kind of approach was more of the new wave. I think to your point, there's a lot of nonsense on the internet, like, like our show. But I
Hmm.
think what Rogan's
Yep.
podcast did was, um, and I think a lot of people, this is why it was watched, is because I think there's a lot of people that just want to know if somebody in power is just like a normal person. You know what I'm saying? Unscripted, like, can they just talk for 3 hours? Because, like, we talk about on this, right? That people that don't talk to somebody for an hour, if not more, like rarely in a week.
I'll definitely say that Donald Trump is not a normal person because he's never been broke in his
But I'll
life.
tell you this though, he could
But
have he could have a conversation for 3 hours, is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying Kamala Harris couldn't do the interview, but it is alarming that there's somebody who possibly would quote unquote hold the highest power in office, depending on how you look at it. Everybody should know that there's a lot more powers in government. There's a lot of things that need to align for things to really take motion. So the fact that there was a person who may have entered the seat without ever truly having like an interview, long form interview or anything unscripted is worrisome. And so that's why not doing the podcast kind of just
you know,
wasn't the best look. Where I think him going around to all these things that are really viral with a lot of people was just willing to just go there as a random guest meeting somebody for the first time and just take questions and hang with somebody for like an hour to 2 hours. A lot of those are unscripted. Like a lot of
I
those
will
are
say
just
I'll say this. I'll
unscripted.
definitely give you that. Like I'm not like, and by me saying this is not trying to negate anything, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
will concede to Donald Trump is the ultimate salesperson. He knows what to do, and he keeps his ears to the street to understand what to do. He's always done that with like I was like going back. He was on Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Oh
He was
man, he's selling
always
merch, man. Come on, he's
he
smart
was yeah, he was always on the ear of what people were doing. Right,
businessman.
that's how you become a good business person, and he knows where to go to do that. Right. Um. Now, with that being said, I think that's what he did great. He showcased himself in situations to seem as he was the normal person, where he's never lived the normal life that we've lived, right? But you want to see somebody who's willing to go and talk to the normal person, do that type of things. This is why in politics they would have someone go into the hood, pass out turkeys or whatever to seem like they're for the people, right? I'm just you've seen gangsters do that, like I'm for the people, blah
Yeah, it's
blah.
like the Democratic
Eh,
Party. Every time they go to a black church, everybody got to act like
Exactly.
they,
Like
like I put
yeah,
on the
exactly. Yeah,
garb and I do
exactly.
the whole
How
thing. Like,
hallelujah. Yeah, doing a
yeah,
hey, how you doing? I'm kneeling. That looks
yeah,
stupid.
every
Like
time
actually now we say it, like the Democratic Party had
they do it with
fucked
black,
themselves up
white. It don't matter who it is. Don't
for
do
like the
it.
last 4 years. I'm gonna kneel. You did a lot of fuckery, right? Now that's not to say to me, not to say that the Conservative Party didn't do fuckery either,
They
like
don't.
bad timing on a comedian. You and I will say it's a joke, but that's bad timing to do that on a have a comedian talk about Puerto Ricans and stuff like that during an election time, right?
But I
That
mean,
that
they
that looks
said it, but then the voter turnout was like very
yeah,
positive.
and the voter turnout didn't give a fuck, right?
Yeah, so
Because when you look at certain things, there's parts of me was like, what at what point are what we voting for? Because there's inconsistencies on both sides that people would either you can say both sides. People will either accept or reject Kamala. People will accept or reject Donald Trump, no matter what was being said. Some people just wanted to go with whatever, right? Some people. Now,
mhm,
I will say
yeah.
that in many cases, I don't necessarily blame Kamala not going on Joe Rogan. For the last couple of years, Joe Rogan was not keen on liberal people. So he was not going to have, I'm going to assume, I guess this is me making conjecture. I'm not going to say it was going to be a good situation for her to be in, you know, to talk to Joe Rogan because he was not going to not go at her with his own agenda and openness. Because if you listen to him prior to that, he was already more open to Donald Trump. So when listening to someone, you're going to give him more of an opportunity. most people are not going to put themselves in a situation during a political storm or political situation into where they can get exposed in a negative way by people who are not accepting of them.
So
You
then how
know, and
do we read these people if they can't take on like media that's
well,
unbiased?
do you like? I'll put it this way. I don't know if
Because then it's like an
I don't
impossible
know if Trump went on
situation.
the View. You know what I'm saying? Like
He went on the
like
View when he liked them, but then they didn't book him after that. Remember that footage, that notorious footage when he's over there with Whoopi Goldberg and all them, and they're all hugging him and they love him. This is right before he went
before
on,
he became
before he became a president.
it
Like
was
they
before he was
before the
running.
2015, because they were right before he won. He
Mm.
was on the View. It's out there. I don't know if you could find it anymore, but he was on the View, and they're like, "We love you. You're the best." This is the way they introduced him. They all had love for him, and then the minute he became president, I mean, obviously they're not going to book him, so they're just going to trash him.
And
So
did he
I don't
do
know
it while
how.
he was running for president? Because
But that's what I'm
2015
saying. Like they
he wasn't
weren't going to
running. He
book
wasn't running
him.
for president.
They
That's
weren't going to.
what I'm saying is
No, they
it,
acknowledged him running for president. Is what I'm saying. They
did
were
they
like,
do that
"Yeah,
in 2015?
yes, you could look it
Okay, then
up.
I'll look it
Yes."
up. That's why I'm asking you.
Yes,
That's why I'm
yeah, it
asking
was
you.
right before he became president. So they were acknowledging him like, "Yo, like good luck on
Mm.
your bid to go and we love you, wish you the best." And then he won and then it just changed. That's the whole crazy part about the View. So at this point, I mean, he might want to go on there, but I don't know if that they're willing to take him on type of thing, because that at this point it's already damaged. How do you embrace him and then his whole entire first run at being president, they're trashing him the whole time. And then even during all this, they're trashing him. So it's like, how do you
I
go
mean,
back on that?
to sit
Like,
there and say to sit there and say people's opinions can't change. They can change, but I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is they could say, "Hey, we love you," and then
but
they
that's
see
not a
what
news
happens.
station either. That's just
But what I'm saying is
entertainment.
what
So
they
that's
can see.
fine.
They can see what happens and not like someone. Like I believe Joe
But you're
Rogan said
telling
he
me they're
liked
not
certain.
going past the slander though. They're not
Well,
slandering
okay,
him in any way.
Joe Rogan used to live in California, and then
Yes.
California changed, and he didn't like it, and he moved to Texas. Correct?
Yes.
His mind changed. His feelings about things
That's
changed.
fine. Yeah.
That's
But
fine,
I'm talking
and
about
that's
if
all
the
I'm saying.
View's slandering him because there's a lot of accounts where they are saying some foul shit that isn't checked. That's all I'm saying. But like at the same time, like you said, if they're entertainment, that's fine. So then, at the View, is the way that they interview people, is it open form, like
You know
non-scripted,
what?
or is it
You had me
just an
stumped at the
interview?
non-check part because I wanted to say there was shit that Fox said non-check. There's shit that Donald Trump said about Obama, but it went
But
checked.
that's what I'm saying. To your
But
point, both
it went
sides
checked. It
do
went
it.
checked.
So as a
So
person, what are you trying to find, and what's the guidance for somebody who's doing the closest to unbiased media? So if we want to say they're all biased, then what's the best option? Do we all just
let me
keep in
ask you
our
this:
little
does something
bubbles,
go
or
unchecked? Does something go unchecked by the same side? Because I'll say this: most of the time, the opposing side will check you on your facts and not the same side. Does that make sense?
yeah, like the debates, right? You're talking about the debates.
No, just in general. Like you said that the view was going on there and they went on unchecked
Yeah.
on what was being said.
Yeah, same thing like on the
I'm not.
debates. They went on the
I don't know
debates
if
and
they
went
did or not.
unchecked.
I don't know if they did or not. But I'm going to say that
I watched the debates.
usually. No, no, no. I'm not saying this part. I'm not saying the view. What I'm going to lead to when I'm saying I don't know if they did or not is this. Usually, if the view is saying that, then Fox Media is going to go back and say these things were wrong, and they're going to check them. But it's usually not checked by the same people that are saying that. You know what I'm saying?
So the people that are saying it need to be checked by the people that are allowing
I
it
think
to be said.
what would make people feel comfortable is that the people who said something wrong, apologize and said that they were wrong and stand up to that.
I mean, I don't think people do that though.
But that's what I'm saying.
It'd be
What I'm saying
nice.
is
I agree with
that
you.
it'd
Yeah,
be
I agree.
what I'm
I
saying
think
is I
that'd be
think that's
hella
what will
nice if
create
they
more
did it.
trust for people is that
Yeah.
you say something, the View said stuff, they went unchecked and they just laughed about it. But there's
Yeah.
plenty of times that I would say that Fox would say stuff and their own people won't check their own people about things that are being said.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I could agree with that. Yeah.
And what I'm getting on this part is just that what the View did, and this is where also the liberal side failed, in my opinion, is that you talked about these things that you wanted and equality and fairness, but you were not giving out the same thing that you were wanting to receive, you know.
Hmm.
And now you look like Christian hypocrites or hypocrites in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I
Yeah.
say Christian because a lot of people have a problem with church is because it's not so much that well, it is the establishment, but what happens is people connect themselves to the establishment. They connect people to the establishment. And even though the establishment might be a good thing, it's the people that's representing that looks bad. So when you have a lot of people that are liberal and they're saying these things and be like, blah, 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 and they're giving out the same hate, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because that's the thing I've heard most people say, whoa, 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 the same hate. They'll bypass the hate that's going on one side. They'll go out the other side that's saying that they don't like it, but then treating it that way. They're okay with the people, and I'm not saying one side's, they'll be okay with the people saying, oh, at least they're being honest with themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And that's not to sit there and say one side like, but I will definitely. I'm not going to say the conservative side is racist, but I'll definitely say the liberal side had way more hypocrisy that was being shown within the last 2 years or last 4 years, maybe even longer than that technically. But in the last 4 years, definitely during COVID, shit from the government Gavin Newsom, do not go anywhere, chill at home. I'm gonna go to French Laundry and chill with my mask off.
Mm. Come on, man. He arrested a surfer, like, or a when he was like a paddleboarding. He arrested a paddleboarder because he didn't have a mask on or he wasn't supposed to be out there or some bullshit. Come on, man. That happened. That
You
wasn't good.
know, and that's the thing. It's like, and then you say
That's
that, and then you say, and then
crazy.
you go apologize or whatever, and it's just like, okay, you know, like for me, I'd probably say I'm more, I'm conservative on money, but then liberal on people, right? I want people to have the rights and feel free to do certain things within a constraint. Like I don't think someone should be on
I think
welfare
that's
for the rest
most
of their life,
people.
huh?
I think that's most people.
Yeah, like I don't think you should be on welfare for the rest of your life, but then I
No,
think that people do need help, but then we need to figure out a common
better
way,
system.
right? So
Yeah.
so but for me, I'm like, I'd be the first one to say is like, how is it that like every other state federally, has Juneteenth off, but California is supposed to be so liberal and so advanced. Juneteenth is not a paid holiday for employees of the state. That doesn't make any sense to me. When you talk about this is from a governor. You're
Mm.
talking about places like PG&E gives that day off. You're talking about a governor of probably one of the more liberal states talking about we see you, my people are gonna kneel for you, and you don't give Juneteenth off when that's celebrated in places like Colorado, Texas.
I want to
You
know how
know,
many like LGBTQ those holidays have made it to a state.
it has. I don't think it's made it to a holiday, but um, this part I didn't do the whole research on it. I did do a slight research. In theory, the LGBTQIA uh, group is bigger populace in California than black people in California, according to census. There's about 6.5% of black people in California, and there's about 8 LGBTQIA plus in
Boom.
California.
They just now have become the most oppressed. The crown has been superseded.
Oh,
They now
yeah.
take all the sympathy from the blacks now.
According to
Dude, they're
Wims.
just gathering up people. You know what I'm saying? That's like you know, that's like just putting a whole team together with just, scraps and shit. It's like, oh, you how many people y'all hey, just come join the squad. You know, what letter you want? Like it's like that.
Yeah.
How many letters they got to do a plus at the end? I heard there was a controversy where they had a controversy with the flag alignment where why is this color ahead of this one? Why is this shape ahead of this shape? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Have you seen the flag? Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. No, no, no. And this is where what we said offline. I don't know if I said it online, talking about how Roman fell because it got too big. And what happens is sometimes when you add too many things to a movement, then it gets convoluted and confused. You want to serve everyone, you end up not serving anyone.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Because there's so many people into the pot of what's
true.
going on.
Well, I learned something. I don't know how true this is, but I did, some weird reading that California is so big in legislature that we essentially run ourselves as our own country as of now. Like we just kind of have our own separate governance where it almost feels, and I don't know how, aside from, taxes, how much the federal government is not involved in our state.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
see
don't.
what I'm saying? because
Yeah, I don't,
from what I read, our legislature is very big, and I think it's was assembled in like the late 1800s, and its whole its whole mo I think is being liberal. I think we're supposed to be like the guinea pigs or the people to put out very progressive policies, very progressive practices in governance. They said, like, I think in power positions of our government, I think women hold almost 50%, if not really close to 50% of power positions in our government. You know what I'm saying? It's like those things where we put a lot of those things that I think we want to move it to other states into practice in our state, and we're like the first to see it. And I think they
you know,
push it on us that way, I think.
yeah, I believe that. So one of the things I noticed that was posted, at least they were saying that when you look at Biden, when Biden ran into to this year, when Kamala ran and against Trump, that you'll look at California shifted, and although it was mainly liberal or Democratic Party, there was a shift in certain areas where you started to see was more red, right? More like where it used to be really a dark blue and hue or whatever, it started to be like a pink, a lighter shade of pink that was lean more red, right? And so one of the things I was realizing, um, what I was realizing in my a lot of things, what you're saying, a lot of things that Californians are mad about, at least I believe the more conservative Californians are mad about. I'm
Mm.
like, you guys realize that's not a what we're mad about is a California issue and not necessarily the whole United States issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I started
Seriously.
realizing that
Yeah. The
I was
stuff we're
like, you
suffering, it
realize
has nothing to do with the rest of the state
I
or the
was like,
country.
and what happened is there's things that are being said, right? And I think it does mimic some parts, but I'm like a lot of these problems, like homelessness or whatever,
Mhm.
or crime, right? Crime's everywhere, but then
Immigration.
some of the
Yeah.
crime is like, yo, that was, and this harkens back to what I used to say on our other podcast about
Mm.
raising kids. Some of this stuff we talk about kids is like, it's like, oh my god, these kids, blah blah blah. And as we get older, as we're adults, and realize that some of our kids could have been in high school. I'm of the age that if I had a kid at 27 years old, they'd be starting high school, or
Mm.
if I had a kid at 25, they'd be, close to graduating high school. Some of the things that are going on right now with kids or whatever is now our fault. We have to take accountability of how our kids are because of what we either allowed or didn't allow or whatever whatnot, right? So as I look at what's going on in California, and some of it has to deal with definitely Gavin Newsom and the governor. Some of the stuff that's going on is us as voters of California voters not paying attention, and it's our fault. I that's how I feel. I mean, like the things that are going on in the United States may not always affect Californians, like you're saying, and to me, it's what's wrong with California was what the voters voted wrongly in California,
Hmm.
in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
because as I look at it, it's like, oh, this, and this is like these seem to be most California issues. People like it's inflation's high everywhere. But it was like, oh my god, blah blah, like minimum wage and then this. I was like, you guys realize in a different argument that I was having, it's like you guys realize nationally minimum wage hasn't changed from 7.25 since 2009.
Yeah.
This minimum wage thing you're talking about is a
No,
California thing,
California only.
you know? And I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's not what I'm saying is like the amount is like
Yeah, we live in a weird situation. That's why people gotta like, or not people, just in general. If you're
Californians,
living in
but
California, the conversation really has to be about California. That's why I do tune in more to local governance. So I do, participate in limited amounts of, those voting cycles. Like, I probably should have voted, but I just was disinterested and just not really into it this year. Personally, I always at least try to, fill out a couple candidates, but I really try to figure out local
yeah,
governance personally. So,
and
because like you said, I think that's really the true participation, and I think that's really the true, like, trying to see how governance can work, because you can really be persistent and make a difference in just like the little area. It's pretty easy. They're accessible people. It's just strange because I don't understand how to actually, like, what to do. If I have like, hey, I want to know what happened on 9/11, like, do I tell her that? Like, that's what I'm thinking, because who
yeah,
else do I go to? You're my representative to talk to the guy, because I'm thinking if she's getting this from 1,000 people a week, and my rep comes to me, how's everything going? You know what I've been noticing? There's a lot of people asking about the incident, and I don't and then he has to get that up because they were like, it's not that serious. Yeah, I got voted out. Nah, it's just you. The next person. Yeah, I got a lot of people asking me about it. Hey, fuck. Hey, tell these people something. Like, is it that easy? Like, where it just trickles up to the manager, to the regional, to the district, you know what I'm saying? So we're all represented by that one person kind of thing. But
And technically, yes and no is like weird because like yes and no meaning like uh essentially they go to the Senate and they talk about the issues and they try to see it, but it's like, and this is why California has one of the higher amount of no, I can't, electoral votes, right?
mm,
But it doesn't at the same time, you know,
true.
if that
It's
makes
like an
sense. It's like
automatic because they already know. It's almost like it just represents, like, if you look at the map truly, us in New York feel like we were part of either we're part of the new world or we're part of some other world they're trying to imprint on the rest of the country. Not world, the rest of the country.
you
You
know,
know what I'm saying?
I had someone argue something similar but different,
Okay.
where they were talking about how although it ended up going that direction anyway, because usually the person with the most one with the most or popular vote wins. Usually, when you have the popular vote, you're going to win the election because it also adds into electoral votes. Usually, for the most part,
Mm.
but recently with I think Trump prior against
Hillary.
against Hillary, and then I wanted to say George Bush in
Mm.
2000
Gore.
against Gore.
Yeah.
Those are the two times it
Florida.
didn't, right?
Yeah.
From not two times, but those are the two times in our adult life
Yeah, that we
that we
remember.
remember, right?
Mm.
Um, and I so usually it leads that way. But I do agree with what you're saying. Like a lot of things that I believe is going on in California, the issues that we are mad about and people are leaving is because of the California issues that are not being fixed and that we
Mhm.
voted on, and we might have voted on good ideas but poor execution.
Yeah.
Reason I say that is because one of the proposition that changed quick was it was very specific. It was like a two-time felon. It was, I don't know if it was Prop 33 or 36, but it was one of them that had to deal with, and let me go back and say this on the voting part. Reason I didn't vote is because I forgot to get my belt, like I left it somewhere,
Mm.
and I didn't vote for the president, but I was trying to leave just local stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where it hit me, where I was like, it's more important that we vote local than sometimes the president, right?
Oh, for
Uh,
sure. Especially out here.
but
Shit.
yeah, especially here because it was like I think you and I may be similar now on this. There's like, no, we got to fix California,
Yeah.
like fix it,
That's where we
like
live.
we
Yeah.
it's
You
where we
can't
live.
worry about the rest of it.
Like stand up. Like sometimes
Yeah.
leaving a situation is not going to fix the problem.
Yeah.
And if some of the people who left, as I see, some of it did change.
Yeah.
Like one of the proposition was on like smash and grabs kind of, but now they're making it like more
Illegal.
more illegal. But it was very, I think it was, now this is where I read it. It was kind of talking about if you had multiple charges,
Oh, some shit baked in.
if you have multiple charges, they can charge it as a felony. You know.
Oh, and then they'll get you if you on 2 to 3 or some
Yeah,
bullshit.
exactly. Which is going back to the
Damn.
three strikes you're out rule, which
Got
was in the '90s,
him.
right? Now,
Jeez.
someone I talked to who I love, right? Um, they went into a fear mongering thing where it's like
Oh, no.
they can arrest you and put you as a felony if you stole chips. I was like, no. First of all, that sounds ridiculous. I'm not saying it can't happen. What I'm saying is that sounds ridiculous, and you would have to be judged by your peers. And if someone really puts you away for chips, I feel like you have to look at the whole picture first, you know,
Mm. Yeah.
because I don't believe that you're gonna get arrested and put in and charged for felony. You and I, when there's had gum in our pocket and
The
all of a
fact
sudden
that
got
if
charged.
we're taxpayers and we're allowing that to go to trial is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, like that's what I'm saying is like if you're really sitting there saying that this is
Yeah, is this a matter of us
you
not really paying
like
attention?
that statement is coming from a statement of fear, and it's like how often does that happen? It happens once, kind of like what you said years ago, and even kind of like my cousin said, when people talk about police shootings, it's actually smaller, or it's smaller than what people think, but what happens is when it happens it's such a big deal. It's like a nuclear bomb accident, um and I'm saying
Rating
this,
spike.
and I'm literally just saying this in a sense of trying to take a step back, because when I heard that, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why is it that you jump to the extreme?
Mm.
It's very similar to when, although I am more pro-choice, if I got someone pregnant, I would love to have the conversation
Mm,
about having a kid, but at the end of the day, you have to decide. I would hope that I have a part of the statement. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
But it's kind of like the pro-choice people that say, "Well, what if someone gets raped?" And it's like, if someone gets raped, then that should be a great reason to talk about it. But you go to the so extreme part,
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
and that's just me. And I'm saying this as trying to sit there and say, I like the fact that I got no. But what I'm saying is, why is it when you got to go to the most extreme? Like, I got raped, and now I gotta have this person's kid. Why is it the worst situation every time?
Cause that's the one that gets the emotions going.
It does, but it's like,
That's why. Because
how?
then
I guess
you
the
get that
question is, how
going right
often does that
before they vote.
happen? How
Only
often
right
does that?
before voting time.
Yeah, it's always the most extreme situation
Yeah,
that puts it into a fear thing, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not
a good tactic.
I'm not trying to I'm not trying to sit there and scare people, you know? I just think that, like, when we say things like that, it's just you make people make a hard decision even if they don't necessarily believe in it. Meaning, like, I don't believe in that. Well, what about rape? You're okay, you're supporting rapists. That's not what I said. Now all of a sudden I'm the bad person because you went to the extreme part. You know what I'm saying?
So is that us in our state? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm starting to think. Once I
Is that
read,
us in our state in California, or is that
yeah, California or even Sacramento, Elk Grove,
I
whatever,
don't. Yeah,
downtown
that's
Sac.
a hard one because I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm
I don't know
thinking. I'm
because
like,
I can't really honestly say that it is or isn't, because
uh,
I can't honestly say I've lived enough places to sit there and say, oh no, it's everywhere. You
okay,
know, I can't,
see,
like, I'm just trying to be
trying to figure it out.
honest with myself.
Mm,
You know,
mm, mm,
like, because if I said, oh, it's everywhere, then I'm probably not being honest.
mm.
Like, because I don't know. I would have to survey so many people to figure that out.
Like a pole.
Yeah, a poll. Is this how most people think? Is this what it
Mm.
is? Or do people in the South feel that way too? I would probably say no because some of them are okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. I mean, we'll see. I think people definitely got. I mean, I think it's just some change. It's just gonna be a. We'll actually visually see a change, at least on TV for California. I think we've always been in change. If you really pattern everything that's been going on the last, couple years, there has been a lot going on, a lot of movement. So I don't think it's necessarily bad. If I'm going story arc and I'm going WWE, that's the surf I do. It's just we'll get back into the spotlight again.
And
It
that's
always
and that's
rides high. That's how it
and
goes.
that's what I was trying to say earlier. Is like, where we're talking about, like, things are changing. It's like, well, now just change is bad. You know,
Mm.
like, we're hoping that change goes into a good
Yeah,
direction, and this is how we evolved as people and got to where we're at now. Is because,
we embrace
somehow
change.
some fish decided to change the way. I was like, nah, I'm gonna eat some chicken and grits. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I think it's exciting, man. To be honest, I mean, the fact that people even feel like they took a L, I think is good too. It's like when your favorite team loses the championship or the Super Bowl. It's the bounce back. It's trying to really see if our generation, the people that were on the opposite end um, of the defeat or the victory, seeing how they just respond. Like, can we all mend and mesh well together and you know go forward? It's going to be telling for at least I would think our generation. If this is a millennial, the generation before us become more of the larger voting class. I would assume going in now. I'd be fascinated to see, and I think it's more of an exciting time. There are interesting personalities now. It's the time when we're watching Raw's War, and not only is it just the wrestlers, you see the fucking females getting in there, you see the CEO getting in there. That's what's happening now. We're actually seeing these personalities that we have actually been more accustomed to seeing on a lot of different entertainment levels, now becoming, levels of governance. Um, it's an interesting experiment. You know, it's like it's like truly the West Wing, like, or it's that version of it. It's like a POV. It's like this could be The Office. Like this could be a straight up comedy.
No,
Um,
and that's the
or
thing.
it
Like,
has been, to be honest. It
no,
has been the
it
last
has
couple of
been.
years.
It's like because they're. I mean, like I don't know. Like I said, there. What I said earlier about the fear of exports online. I'm like that's when someone posts on Twitter. I don't know if that's real either. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I don't know if that's real.
yeah, anymore.
Because just people be saying whatever, and it's just like, wait, is this real? And then me going into my automatic denials of like, I just think that the business doesn't want to pay you anything, to me,
Mm,
because we don't know, and that's an easy way for someone to get out. Like,
yeah,
well,
fear.
you know,
Yeah, preemptive.
it's like you don't know if you have the money to pay your people a bonus, pay them the bonus.
Yeah,
And as a company, you should be like, we should prepare and we'll adjust when whatever hits us, right?
yeah. See,
Not
that's
like, hey,
what's.
we have to cut you off bonus
Oh,
because we have
yeah,
to buy extra stuff because there's tariffs.
yeah,
You don't really fucking know,
yeah. You don't know. Yeah, it's got to be equal both sides, or at
or
least as
or
equal as
or or
possible, fair as
or at least
possible.
like maybe give less
Yeah,
and say, hey, we're gonna save some in case this happens.
yeah. We're gonna stipend and then
Instead
break
of
it
saying, oh
through.
no, we
Yeah,
can't because, and then the people who are saying that usually people go online and talk about like, well, I heard that, like, well, fucking, like, well, what is actually being said
yeah,
and what is actually being done because the tariffs hasn't went through yet.
yeah.
You know,
Speculative. It's all
it's speculative.
speculative.
It is
Yeah.
speculative.
It's preemptive. That's why stock market, crypto, all this shit. You're like, yo, what the fuck is going on right
Bruh,
now?
after
The
this
hype
election,
is real.
after you got elected, it was like 50% jump. I mean, my checks,
I was
my
like,
account looks good, but
damn,
I'm over exaggerating. But I'm
man.
but it's like we don't really know.
Yeah, we ain't no
Do
shit.
you
I'm like,
like,
what the
and
fuck?
the thing to me, the funny thing about it to me is like the stocks went up, but I'm like, all right, say the tariffs do go through, is
Yeah,
that really good for American like
yeah,
people?
yeah. I think
You
it's just
know,
gonna be the spin. It's gonna be how it's spun. Like we're aware that we're gonna keep on paying. Like you can't think that shit's like this and it's gonna stop. It's just gonna stay like this. But there is gonna be some way it's gonna be spun for us to really, oh, this is cool and different. But it's gonna be like, yo, it's just like, here's the money. It's gone here, but it's just here now. Like, wait, but look, it's
yeah,
gone. It's gonna be like a bait and switch. That's what I feel. It's
yeah,
gonna be the way it's narrated to us. So it'll be, something like that.
yeah. Because to me, in order for us to do like break even in theory
Mm,
on this tariff, you would have to get you would have to gain 25% on your taxes to break even. You know what I'm saying? If that was to go through. Because
mm,
everything went up 25%. And
right.
obviously it's foreign to bring back jobs here.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, and I don't know what the legal stipulation is to say how much needs to be made here to be considered American. Um, because that's a whole nother workaround stuff. Then you're looking at things like Apple phones will now go up more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now
That's
it
true.
may like now if people were good at this and were smart, like to say like not smart, because I was about to say if people were to see that and hold back on how they spend, it could turn into a good thing. What does that mean? We do less spending. The bad part is if there's less spending on products like that, then these companies theoretically go down because the business go because of people have to spend, which
Mm,
will in theory hurt people's stock if you're not spending as much.
mm,
But it'll be good for people, American people, not to have credit debt and overspend. Does that make sense?
mhm.
Because they say that Americans have one of the highest debt. So in
Yeah.
theory, it's like, oh, everything is expensive, so I'm not spending money on unnecessary things.
Yeah.
That's technically good,
Yeah. In a weird way. Like price it to appropriate things and then the
you know?
people catch up, make right decisions, and then they'll catch up to the market.
Yeah, because consumerism is what keeps us broke sometimes, right?
Yeah. And maybe they're just overspending. So maybe it's a forced thing. They'll cover until things go right. Build up the product. It seems that's what it is. Like we're in the middle of an exchange. Either these electric cars are going to continue to consume the market, or there's going to be a bunch of cars that are going to hit some crazy price that's going to make sense for a lot of people relatively soon. And I think, like to your point, people are going to spend. So goods are just going to be at a premium. Things will kind of come back around, but those first couple years are going to be, it'll be tight. I'm assuming there's no other way around it. Like, the interest rates got to stay high.
Mhm.
Inflation's going to stay where it's at, if not even more. Like, if things are going to go quickly, I mean, if anything, it might even go higher than what it is now. You know, inflation might just keep on going up. Who's to say? Like you said, it's a variable. Like, we don't know what this shit really looks like. People talking, cheering crypto. We going to the moon? Is this moon time? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Is this moon time? I'm looking at stocks at Apple. I'm like, moon time? Like, what is going
yeah.
on
And
right
I
now?
and then me being the cynical person is like the excitement is like invest now, but it's like no, you don't invest when it's high.
You wait.
You
You
wait
wait for
until
the
it
W.
until it crashes to do it.
Ah, it's
Like something bad,
coming. It's
like
coming.
destruction sometimes is good.
Yeah.
You're like shit. We can get something cheaper now.
See, that's what sucks because fucking crypto, you're like, holy, but Jesus, I thought the COVID thing was once in a lifetime.
Dude, like so COVID, like, and that's the thing that cracks me up is like during COVID, some of these tech companies fucking ballooned
Hmm.
during a time where you're like, it makes sense now, but at
Yes.
the
At
time
the
you're like,
time
oh my
made
god, the
no
market's
sense.
going crazy, blah blah. What hurt was the mom and pop stores. What hurt was
Yeah.
the a lot of times the mom and pop tactile stuff, right? There's a lot
The
of businesses shut
fabric
down
of
because they doing.
America.
But then you looked at Target and Target and all these other companies were bigger that were able to do it, which was just a bad execution. Meaning that, like to me, as we look back at it, obviously it's easy to say this afterwards. What should have happened, in my opinion, was um these large companies should have been a distribution center for smaller businesses so they can stay in business. You know, like Walmart was going to get their money. What they should have done was like, hey, we have stuff for you to pick up for your store so you can give out.
Hmm.
That could have been a distribution center. But what happened
Act as
was
a
it forced
yeah.
the smaller places because confinement or whatever into a larger place, more people in theory,
Mm.
in a larger place, still spreading, in theory. You know what I'm saying?
See,
If, if
it's
the if
the people, man. The ideas are insane, great. The people suck.
no, yeah, that's the thing. It was like,
Uh,
hold on.
we horrible. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, to me, everything that's created isn't always created bad. Everything that's created can be perverted by humans. That's what I say. The production may not be bad. It's the execution of who's using it can be bad.
Yeah.
You know, because like there's an idea to stop selling guns, and it's like okay, guns kill people. I'm like I get it. Like the access of guns could stop it. It's really the people, the mindset of the people. You know, but like yeah, should everybody have access to it? Maybe not so much. But to sit there and say no one should get it, I don't think that's good. But then again, a car can also be used to destroy people.
Yeah.
I can just run people over if I'm mad.
True. How far do we want to go
There's
with
been times I
restrictions?
wanted to.
Yeah.
Like
Because
like
once you restrict something, there's not a lot of we're going back on that. You don't really see that in history where it's like, yeah, yeah,
mm,
no more drinking Gatorade. Oh, fuck. Okay. Just kidding. Hey, okay. Back on Gatorade. You guys are fine. Like, nah, there's never that. It's like once you take it away,
you know,
that's it.
the, you know,
You can't
the
drive with your
the
seatbelt off anymore. For
the
real?
cynical part of me is like, well, prohibition, but like you said, it doesn't happen often.
Oh, no, very few times.
Yeah, very few times it happens like that.
So I'm up for change. Like I said, reality TV it should be losing its ratings by now because the real world has got some shit for you. I think it's friends and family. We're walking into a new culture of things. I'm excited, just for the prospect of, just a different look of things.
I
Mm.
hope reality TV does shut down. It is crazy how long it's had a stranglehold on people. You
Yeah,
know,
I think it's being funded that way. I don't know how and when
it's
it
not even
dies.
reality TV, but yeah,
Yeah, it's something about those storylines. I think there's a comfortability there.
I
It's
will
like the
say,
old programming. Like we're into the new
yeah,
programming. The old
Well,
programming,
yeah,
there's still people into that. So
well,
you
that
have
was
to
kind of the new
do that.
programming. Well, I mean, like that's old programming, but not too diff. Not it's changed. Meaning,
Yeah.
like, okay,
Not to
yeah,
us. We're the
it
last
has changed
generation
though.
that
It
accepted.
has changed a little bit. Like, what I
Yeah.
mean, like now you're looking at when Kai Sent, who's a Twitch person, is getting a McDonald's commercial.
That is strange. Well, I mean,
You
not
know,
really. McDonald's has
when
always been on the
Paul
cutting
now
edge.
I think Jake Paul and them, they weren't they were they Twitch people, or were they they did shows beforehand,
I
right?
think Twitch. Or maybe yeah, Twitch maybe. One of those streamers,
I
one of the
thought
game
one of them
streams.
like did like Disney beforehand. They were like Disney kids before
Oh,
that.
were they? Oh, revealed.
I think yeah.
Revealed.
Let me see. Let me see. I like I said, this is a great time to. I'm
Oh, were
not
they
doing
one of
this.
those twins, like one of those shows? Is that what you're talking about?
Um, let me see.
Or like a
Jake
background
Paul,
character?
Disney. Let's
Oh,
see.
that would
I
be
mean, like
so
when I
crazy.
see his older pictures, I'm just like everything about him I can't stand. I can't believe we Jake Paul 1990. Jake Paul is an American social media personality, actor, musician, rapper, professional boxer who for Disney played Dirk Man in season 1 and 2 of the of the Disney Channel series Bizarre. I think that's what it says.
Animation live.
And guest starred in Walk the Plank special. Talk Talk the Prank. Oh, Walk the Prank.
Mm, was
Talk
a
the Prank
Disney
with Jake
person.
Paul and Logan Paul.
Was a Disney.
So
Wow. I did
during
not
the
know that.
middle of filming of the second season of Bizarre, Disney Channel announced that Jake Paul would be leaving the series. The announcement followed the news report ATL about public complaints from his neighbors in Los Angeles regarding the noise generate. So he's always. It looks like as though he's always been kind of
What do
who
you
he
think about
was.
that?
But
What do you think the Disney thing is in relation to the country? Because they're plopped in one in California, one in Florida, right? In our country. Disney.
I don't know. I don't. I guess I don't know in which ways. So
Just like its impact on culture, aside from like WWE, like Disney culture. Because like when you mention stuff like that, it was so interesting, but it's interesting how many people tied to Disney as a youth
I
end up becoming,
fucked up.
like to for some degree have an
But
experience and then become a character after their careers. It doesn't end there.
I would say somewhere Disney's tied, but then a lot of young artists at one point or young kids when they're tied to Disney, they're tied to TV, they get fucked up. But it seems to be more than often than not tied to Disney that these kids are jacked up afterwards. And I don't know if it's aggression or being held back or whatever.
Mm,
Uh, but then I also feel that when I've seen some of these people from these areas, they're like privileged kids that get everything they want, you know?
mm,
Because the
mm.
way Ariana Grande came from that, right? You're talking about Justin Timberlake. Now, Justin Timberlake seemed to have been okay, one of those people during his time to come out and be okay,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then I think Amanda Bynes came from that time or whatever, and
Oh
she's
yeah,
all
that's a
fucked
lot.
up.
Lot.
Then for a short time, Lindsay Lohan was all fucked up. But then that's
Britney.
also Hollywood, because look at
Yeah.
non Disney kid, and there's only one, and
Mm.
he also happens to be white. Um, I can't think of his name right now.
White.
Justin Bieber,
Bieber.
you know.
Canada.
And then you also add in for a short time, uh,
Baby, baby,
the
baby.
like I'm visualizing her because I always thought she was oddly cute, even though she had no body, and then she went really provocative. Came in like a wrecking ball. Was it her?
Oh,
Or
Hannah Montana.
yeah, and her dad is a singer too, a country singer,
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, Miley Cyrus.
And
Yeah,
then she went
yeah.
complete like what the fuck.
Oh, mm.
Honestly, this is my funny theory. Is like most of it has to deal with people getting in connection to rap.
But see, I think at that point, it's almost like the post Malone effect, or like there was a point when people realized, like, kind of the NBA thing we were talking about off camera.
Hmm.
People knew that the hip hop and rap game was the entry point into like the entertainment world. It was the easiest entry point.
Hmm.
You become a star pretty quick, or you become viral really quick, and then you could kind of finesse that into a different avenue.
Oh, like Pink.
Like everybody. Pink was one of the early adopters,
Pink was
I
one of
think.
the first ones,
Hmm.
and I was feeling Pink. I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I hated that." I was like, "What?"
No, Pink was,
My
yeah,
heart
she was
broke.
dope. Yeah,
My heart broke.
yeah, yeah. That Pink was legendary to me. It's just because she inherited all of Janet's like style and like
Dude,
dancers and
it
shit.
felt at the time when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I've seen girls like you," and it felt kind of real.
Hmm.
It felt
Hmm.
real. And then she's like, "I hated that stuff. And that's not who I
Yeah.
am." I was like, "Damn!" But you pulled it off so well.
Yeah. But I get that though. Imagine as an artist, you kind of get boxed into a product. But she had the best like production, whoever was writing, whoever was producing, whoever, the dancers I already know like those were all like Janet's dancers. So I'm like, yo, she inherited like the cream of the crop performers. It's like, damn, she came packaged ready to go. The whole pink, the whole look. I was like,
Yeah,
damn, and
and it's so
then,
weird because like I thought the pink was going with the pink hair and the attitude that came with it, and it's kind of crazy because like there's a part of me was like when she changed who she was, I was like, why didn't you change your name? Because I felt like that was tied into that old image. You know what I'm saying?
the
And I could be wrong,
followers,
but I was
them
like, was that
followers,
always who
man.
you were, or was Pink always who you were as far as the name, or
Them
was that the
followers,
created
man.
name and then you just kept
Yeah.
it? You know what I'm saying?
Them followers, man.
Like the Rock was Rocky whatever before,
Rocky
and then you
Maivia,
just cut it off
The
the Rocky
Rock.
Maivia and turned it into
Yep.
Rock, you know?
Mhm.
And it was like, well, technically you came in Rocky,
Yeah.
right? And then you took in that you dropped the other part and turned it to a Rock. And
Yep.
I was like, that's kind of what like I think Pink did, in my opinion. I don't
Character
really know.
change.
I'm just talking shit now.
No, but I mean, if some of the theories out there, and I think all is credible. It's like the drama theory. These are all actors, and if we're following their story arcs, they change.
Hmm.
Like how your favorite wrestlers used to change. Hulk Hogan became like a biker. He went
Yeah.
from like, hey, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. Like, dude, I relied on him in my younger days. Is like, dude, this is why I'm gonna be strong, bro.
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna.
and his vitamins were actually called steroids.
Yeah, hey, the ones he was really taking. But I used to get
Yeah.
the ones he had. They were like these little ones, and they was the same like the Flintstones. There was like these
Yeah.
generic like peach, grape, and cherry. And I used to eat them, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to get fucking strong, yo. I'm about to
Right?
have pythons on my fucking arms, yo. And then he was a biker like, 20 years later when I'm
Yeah,
older. I'm like,
with the
dude,
shadow
what?
beard
Shadow
and
beard.
the blonde
Came out
like
to Hendrix. Bow, 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 bow,
and
bow,
always having
bow.
the do rag because he was balding on the top, but
Come
would
on, man.
refuse to cut the hair or just have the hair just hanging
Still
down,
dropping the leg, bro. Still dropping the leg.
just like the stiffest leg ever.
Come
Like
on,
when you look
man.
back at it, amazing on how well he did with his career, considering he had one of the worst moves.
Oh, worst moves ever, bro.
Like Macho Man had a dope move, the
They
flying
had
elbow
they
up.
had
You
like
know what I'm saying?
but he was from the old him and Ric Flair were like the last of like the old school wrestlers where it's like more showmanship.
Yeah,
Like it's just like, I'm gonna do this crazy. Like I get hit in the face and like that thing. Like it was a
yeah.
generation's wrestling. At least Hogan was kind of newer, but still old school tactics. His leg drop was the final move. Like you said, Randy.
Ric Flair probably, when you look back at the video, was probably one of the best trash talkers that you've ever seen on. Like it go like for me, it would go Ric Flair, and then for me, definitely up there is Stone Cold's like newer generation, one of the best like on mic trash talking
Oh
people.
yeah, bro.
I
We were
want like
blessed,
The Rock
blessed.
was good, but kind of like it was kind of still corny for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With like even though we all loved the people's eyebrow, when I look at it as like even then I was like ha ha ha, but like when Stone Cold talked trash, it felt like he was being real, and how he came at it was so raw. Like it's like dog, how did you come up with that so quick?
Well, see, that's how we treat our politicians. It's the same idea. You're like, yo, oh, dude, we just want people who say some foul shit and just who are crazy with it.
I mean, it's funny. It's like there's a
And
yes and no.
if we're sold on them,
I get what you're saying. There's a yes and no. There's a part of me like, no, I don't want that in politics. but I can see how most people can enjoy that, you know?
It's gonna be a part of it, Like that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, yo, man, with that energy, because I'm with you, man. It's just how people are sold. That's the whole thing. Like, can you get behind a character? And we could agree there are people that have like that different shine. It's just how it is. Some people just have the it factor. The problem with I think how that works is once they get into the industries unfortunately of yesteryear are riddled in a certain way of doing business, unfortunately. So, to the average person, you can fall pitfall to those things. I think that's just what happens to people who are, uber talented.
Yeah.
I think the world's filled with a lot of them. That's a different world. That's what you realize. Like it's like the idea of was it American Idol,
Yeah.
right? You're like, dude, like there's singers everywhere. So not to derail people who sing, it's just like the talent is more fruitful and bountiful than we once believed. It's just the other elements now, which is crazy to think of how we see music. It's like, oh, credits for everybody now.
Well,
You know?
it's funny you say about music is because at one point, like you look back at some of the old school soul artists or whatever, like the '70s, they weren't that good looking people. But
Mm.
bruh, the feeling of their music was so dope.
Hmm.
Now, now you're hard pressed to have a singer that doesn't look somewhat attractive, right? But they can sing technically well.
It's true.
I won't go further than that because for me, I feel like they can sing technically well, and sometimes their songs are technically well, but sometimes it feels like it lacks the emotional part,
Mm.
and sometimes that comes with just being ugly.
Oh
You know what
man.
I'm saying? Like that was
This is before
painful.
MTV.
Yeah, before this, I could be wrong, but it was like it's all a part of the
The
look,
lighting
man.
was different back then.
It's
They only
all a
had
part
one
of the
light.
look, man. It is all. They're set like,
They catered to the new world. It's a 360
yeah,
vibe.
yeah.
Like we got to see them in all
Is it
forms.
wrong? I don't know, but like it's just it's what it
How we
is,
consume
man.
it
You know what I'm saying?
is
You
how we
you look
consume it.
good and you can sing well, people are gonna sell it because you're attractive on two ends,
Yeah.
and then you throw in dancing, it just kills it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The only
That's
people
true.
that can kind of get away with being ugly right now are either country singers or rappers. But even country singer dudes are turning into like half model singers.
Oh, it's that real world thing. Remember back in the
Yeah,
days?
like half
It started
mullet.
off real and then all of a sudden, wait, these
It
are
is
all
now
fucking
real. What's going
models,
on is
yo.
these
What the
people who
fuck?
have the leg up that already look decent are getting this training to make them look even. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're seeing it on
It's the
like
rich getting richer.
steroids. Yeah, we're
Huh?
seeing it on steroids with the internet
Yeah,
and social
yeah,
media. Like
and
we're
this is
not
what
seeing
it is.
them
This
play
is
it.
what it is right now.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
It's cool. It's fun. It's like when channels went from like, went all the way up to like 58 and then like maybe like the 90s, but after that, and then it went from that to 1,000 channels. You're like,
Bruh,
well, what the fuck? That's what it's like.
how
We
could
went
you
from
have
like
100 channels and nothing to watch?
that's what I'm saying, and then it went to
That's
like
how I felt
three, four
sometimes having all
thousand.
those channels
Yeah,
growing up. I was like, why there's nothing to watch?
but now you go on the internet, there's fucking videos for days. You know what I'm
And
saying?
sometimes I still can go on YouTube and be
And
like,
not
why
see
am I
shit.
watching the same thing over and over again? I already seen this one over and over again. Maybe it just makes me happy to hear a good review about something I like. What's
There's
going on
something
here?
for something for something. It's infinite. That's why it's like it's a library full of everything, and it's weird, it's strange, and I don't know what it is in to be exact, but it's there, and that's just the reality we live in. It's fucking it's strange. It's cool. Like we could instantly just look up some shit, and we could always question that, and we've stepped into a reality where like everything about what we talked about is always this weird dynamic of back and forth.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of bullshit, but you can find a lot of shit on there. It's like fuck. It is truly like a pick your pathway, pick your journey. Like,
Then you click on the wrong link, and all of a sudden, all you see is the same regurgitated shit.
hmm
It's
it's
like,
true,
dang.
but
And
you can't blame them. That's
then
what
you
happened
see
with
then
TV.
yeah, you can't. Why you can't blame someone? Like I joke around like I'm in the cameras, right? And I'm like, or
Yeah.
even let me even say cameras. Let's talk about video games because we're both like more people play on PlayStation than Xbox, right?
Still,
And it is the favorites are Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, right? Usually Xbox is the bottom of the barrel, like of those major ones right
Wow.
now,
Damn.
right? You're more likely gonna get more views if you talk about Sony or Nintendo because their
Ah,
fan base is loyal, right?
yeah.
And what happens is the people who are usually the minority group, Xbox, will still be like, you know what, we like gaming, so we're gonna go and play PlayStation games, and we can admit to that. While sometimes the people of the major group ones aren't willing to be like, oh yeah, I like that too.
Mm.
They become
Uh,
like you know,
it's like the blue bubble and the green bubble. Same,
yeah.
same. The
Yeah,
same thing.
exactly. No, straight up. You have a green bubble and I hate it. I don't want to put you in a group chat. I'm like, nah, we can't delete this dude out of it. We can't delete this motherfucker out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. If you want to just get off the grid, just get an
Get
Android.
a green bubble, you might
Yeah,
not
that's
get
it.
text.
Yeah,
People are
you
like,
go.
I can't send you pictures. I can't,
They say to use 5-bit pictures. You know what I'm saying?
exactly like, what is this?
Oh man, it's
Dog,
the
why is
why
this
is it
video so
like this?
pixelated? Why is this video so
I thought
pixelated,
that
huh?
there's supposed to be companies that don't have a monopoly. It feels like Apple has monopoly on
It
something.
does have a monopoly. It has a monopoly because
But I thought
people
they're
want
not
to
supposed to have one in America,
Um,
right? Isn't there
no,
like
no,
laws against that?
no. It's not a monopoly. Well, remember, what Microsoft wasn't necessarily a monopoly. It just became a favorite with certain as a monopoly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
oh,
but part of it was they had a monopoly was because they were already pre-installing certain things for Windows, and then people were like, "Oh, it's a monopoly." It's like you can choose to uninstall it, and put something else on there.
ah, makes
But
sense.
what happens too is with most things, people don't want to be left out of whatever is popular.
It's true. Tech is
You know.
big. Apple got a stranglehold on that shit. Are
And
they coming
so
back to
so
America?
so
Oh
that
shit.
because all right, like Tesla's blown up. You see a Tesla car everywhere, right? If someone's getting an electric car, it's like, well, if you said Rivian, some the people who are thinking outside is like, cool. Most people are like, oh, let's get a Tesla. I'm gonna get a Tesla. I got a
Uh,
Tesla,
yeah,
you know, and I got
yeah.
it before it was really starting to blow up and be cool. It was like it was becoming cool or whatever, but it was like, oh snap, you doing good, you got a Tesla. Now it's like everyone's got one. That's the most common electric car you have.
That's
That
true.
or you go to a Prius. And then when you compare people with a Prius, which is a hybrid, and people who have a Tesla, more people will look down on Prius. People are like, ugh, a Prius? This is why they had to change the design of how a Prius looks.
Mm,
But but what happens is there's so many different cars, right? People, it's funny because in the car industry, so many different cars people will choose. But when it comes to like, you know, you can pay the same amount for a car or a different car. You can just like it differently, right? It drives differently or whatever, you handle differently. But like me into photography, there's a particular company that's ahead. And if you don't do like autofocus as good as this one company, then it's like, well, what are you doing? You get everything is based off of just that one thing. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to other parts of the camera that someone can enjoy. And if you can
mm,
get the shot, you can get the shot. But what happens is things are regurgitated, things become an internet situation, and good, bad, and indifferent. Some of these YouTubers now become bigger than the business because they have the followers and they can inherently or unknowingly move move a market,
yes. It's
but
very
by saying
fascinating.
something, right? And it could be one flaw, but it's a flaw to them. And they have enough followers, it spreads.
Yeah. It is strange. It's like our favorite stars from the past,
Mm-hmm.
like becoming the people in today's world. Like Michael Jordan being LeBron James today,
Yeah.
or
I mean, well, I
any of those
forgot the
people.
Ninja was huge. God
Yes.
dang.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy just because it's only crazy because it's different and I don't understand it completely, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even sometimes I'm like, oh my God, YouTube's not a real job. Some people will say that. Well, people are making good money off of it. People are doing it. Now, at the same time, doesn't mean it's gonna be easy in it for everyone,
Yeah.
you know?
That's
And I think
true.
that's what the misconception is that people are like, I'm gonna do this. and then they have to take a lot of L's before they actually get their breakthrough, and it could take a couple of years.
You know, it was like when people thought they go to LA and they could be discovered working at McDonald's. And then
Yeah.
it became the norm where it's like everywhere you go, everybody's working, where before it was like a young countryman's dream to go there and find his way through and have the story, and it's not really that.
And you know it's
It's
funny you
like,
say that
what?
about LA. I used to at one point felt that was Vegas. Like people, are like, I'm going to Vegas and I'm gonna do big out in Vegas and I'll do these shows and
Oh,
stars
for
and all
sure.
that
I think
and
there's
do
definitely that
these
too.
shows in
Yeah.
Vegas. And it's like, oh, how was the strip club?
Ah, dang. Yeah, it's one of
You
those.
failed.
Vegas
You
was one of those
failed out in
places too.
Vegas
Yeah.
because everybody's trying to do that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and I think and that's what makes kind of, if we're, talking California, California is interesting like that. Like I theorize sometimes maybe this is a thing where we just turn over like incoming immigrants here. We get them acclimated to a lot of governance. They go through a couple cycles and then they could leave or stay. We make,
Mm.
the conditions of living here drastic at certain times in certain areas. And we press the button on the people that have been here for a while. But if they stay, they stick around. That's what I'm thinking how New Yorkers became, right? Like we were
Oh,
talking
you
about
know,
off camera, like
it's
they
funny. It's
became
funny.
so far there. They're like, man, fuck, what the fuck you doing? Like we became that after so many years, like because we stuck it out. So we've seen it all and we've stuck it and we're just over here like, look at these motherfuckers coming. They don't know about no Florin Mall. What you know
Yeah,
about some Florin
yeah.
Mall,
You
motherfucker?
ain't a real hip hop fan. Did you get shot for hip hop?
So you go to Mitch Richmond, you know
Did
Richmond?
you have to spin records like it? That's real hip hop.
Come on,
That's how it
man.
was.
You
That's
know the
not how
real
it
K
is.
Street, bro. The real K Street.
Hey,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
you don't
You know
know
what they
Mitch
called
Richmond,
K
bro.
Street back in the day was Killer Street, cuh.
Come
You know,
on,
like
man.
what? Like
Walt
okay.
Williams, bro. You don't know Walt. Come on, man.
Well, Williams with the socks, we with
Sunrise
him. We with
Mall.
him.
Come
Do you
on,
remember all
man.
of that? Oh no, you ain't real. Oh,
See,
okay.
that's how it used to be. Not no
That's
more.
how, yeah, that's how it used to be. And in some cases, still kind of that way in certain sections, you know, instead of accepting whatever art you are or whatever. Because even I have that, like, instead of accepting, like, oh, cool, there's some still people still trying to gatekeep, like I said, even photographer. If I see someone saying I'm a professional photographer and they're going out there with their iPhone or their Google Pixel or whatever, I'm just like, oh, that ain't photography. But then that's my small minded self because it's like, no, anyone taking a picture and can get a good shot, it's photography,
Oh,
right?
man.
I think it was in the Dave Chappelle. Anyone who can move with the rhythm is a dancer,
That's deep. It's
you know.
true. It battles with you because that's the gatekeeping mentality. I agree. It's this give and take, like being an older head. Um, there's ways that we have a methodology. The hardest part is trying to be one to lead, but without saying nothing. So when you see something, you're like, no, don't even want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you do. Good job. And that's the hardest part. I'm like that too. I'm super highly critical. That's why I hate being like in public sometimes because all I do is just talk shit. I'm like, God
Mm-hmm.
damn it, I hate myself. I was like, why do I do this? I'm
It,
so
but
stupid.
it sometimes it works because it comes off of standards. Like I had a player tell me one day, like there's this the idea is like a made shot is not a bad shot. And I'm like, no, that's not necessarily true. Two things can coexist. You can make a shot and still be a bad shot. It's like why? What happens sometimes is when you do certain things incorrectly and continue to do things incorrectly, then you reinforce bad behaviors. Because you made one shot incorrectly doesn't mean you're gonna make all your shots incorrectly.
Mm,
Now, if someone does that way or shoots a certain way and it keeps going in that way, then that's how you shoot. You got it. But for most people, off balance shots aren't working. You
mm,
know, not everybody can be Steph Curry, but now everybody's trying to replicate that, and it's very hard to do. And for most people, what Steph Curry does is a bad shot.
mm.
As Jordan Poole, that's why he got traded.
See, and
You
this is
know,
the age they try to figure it out. See, you're catching them at that age where they're gonna either listen or they're gonna go and learn the repercussions of it.
yeah,
And that's what sucks and it's cool about that age range is because you're seeing it. And some people test it and you almost want to think sometimes you're like, yo, just go for it, let it
yeah.
rip.
I
see
know.
what it feels like, because you never maybe never get this chance. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then tame it back, but find your spots, and then you try to do that kind of deal.
Coming into your own being relies on two things, in my opinion, for the most part. It's accepting or rejecting, right? What I mean is like either accept what's being said or you reject what's being said. And that's help you define to who you are, right?
Mm.
You have an option to accept certain things. You can accept that you're good at things, or you can accept that you're bad at things. You can accept the negative stuff that other people are saying, or you can accept the positive things that are being said. You can reject the positive things because it became negative, or you can, reject the negative things. It's all about the accept or reject, and that's what defines us as people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And most of the things that we have, some of it is not caused by us, but sometimes we like mental health stuff. Sometimes not necessarily always caused by us, but some of the depression is because we accept the negative things, or we accept it thinking that everything was supposed to be hunky dory. I'm gonna say Punky Brewster instead. We accepted everything was supposed to be Punky Brewster.
She was bad.
She was Batman. She was. All right, man. I'm feeling it, so I gotta.
Hey, the sky high.
Yeah,
That was
sky
great.
high.
Great combo. Great combo.